Three, two, one, and we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You, and you have tuned in to another edition of Notes on the News, where I share with you headline news from that I pull from the mainstream news feed to my personal news feed, and we kick it about the news. It's not news though; it's just my notes on the news. We might talk about the headline, we might talk about the article, we might talk about the if we've read it or skimmed it or are familiar with it, or we might talk about whatever happened to come up. But it's just us kicking it, and it's not in-depth analysis. It's a gestalt. It's an overview of what's going on in the world for the purpose of edification. So like, share, comment, subscribe. We're working on 1,000. King question. Just your notes on the news, right? It's just my notes on the news. Why is your thing black, I wonder? I was just saying that this is my second or third time trying to record. This is my third time trying to record today, and I was saying that I every time I come up, we just kicking it. We just kicking it. We just kicking it. Every time I try to record, or that I've noticed on my past videos that it is not giving me access to, like, your commentary. Question. It's not giving me access to the commentary, so I can't see the comments that people make during the live stream. And I think that it's because YouTube. Be right back. Let me switch my channel. Okay. I think it's because YouTube is asking me if I want a super chat, but I don't have enough subscribers to super chat. But oh, look at the little baby. She was so cute. I always say yes because I'm like not one to turn down money, Yeah. I'm not one to turn down money, but I think that by saying yes to the super chat, even though I'm not qualified for it, it shut me out of my playback. Baragani. This is the segment where we talk about what's new and good and exciting, what's new and good in your personal life, what's new and good in your family, what's new and good in your community, what's new and good in the world. We have to be bold in sharing good news. We can't be, hesitant or shy. Spread the good news. We all like good news, right? Let's celebrate. So, and also this is the segment where we talk about the Kwanzaa principle of the day. We're looping through. There are 7 principles, so we loop through, not necessarily right now, one a day, but we are looping through. Hey, Ayapo, can everybody see that you hey, what's up, Sonya C's? Can everybody see that you're in black now instead of white? What happened? What changed? I mean, I like black. I like things black, blackety black. But I mean, what changed? What happened? So this is the segment where we also talk about the Kwanzaa principle of the day for us. Our Kwanzaa principle today is Umoja. We are focusing on Endarkment.com. The good news is that Ayafo is here. Yay! The good news is that everybody is here, and I appreciate you being here, whether you're live or on the playback. Like, share, comment, subscribe, because we're working on 1,000 subscribers. You help with that. Yay! But we like Ayapo. Okay, so we're on the second paragraph, and Darkenment.com has essays on each of the Kwanzaa principles. So we've been looping through the essays as long as they take. That's how we're staying on the principle. If unity is in essence a principle, it is no less a practice, as are all the other principles. So a principle is like an idea, but a practice is what you do. So are you walking the walk, or are you just talking the talk? Are you in practice? Are you practicing unity? How are you practicing unity in your family, your community, in the African world? Unity with yourself. How are you integrating all of yourself? I said negativity by mistake. Y'all leave that negativity outside. I actually like that. I might start using that on purpose. I can't stand negativity. For practice is central to African ethics, and all claims to ethical living and commitment to moral principles are tested and proved or disproved in relations to others. So you can say whatever you want to think and say whatever you want to say in isolation, but how do the people feel? You say you love somebody, does the person feel loved? You say you walk in that walk, you say you about so and so. Are people in your community experiencing that? Can we see that? Can we feel that? Do we understand that? Are you just talking? That is the question. Relations then are the hinges on which morality turns, the ground on which it rises or falls. In this regard, we can refer back to the discussion on character development through ethical instruction. Character development through ethical instruction. Character development is not simply to create a good person abstracted from a community, but rather a person in positive interaction defined first of all by principled and harmonious togetherness, i.e., a real and practice unity. So you're not getting to be a better person for yourself, you're getting to be a better person for all of us. We need you to be better. We need to be better for each other. We all in this together. It's unity. It's umoja. So when I say Habaragani, you say umoja. U-M-O-J-A. Umoja. That's Kiswahili or Swahili. I think when you're referring to the language, it's Kiswahili. Oh, to see all y'all comments. Do the comments look black? Is the background black where it used to be white? Maybe YouTube is now discriminating. So if they realize it's a black channel, they're making the comments black. I don't know. Baby Boomer Spanish. Did you watch it yet? No, I did not. YouTube be playing games. How you doing? I've been not on YouTube very much. Okay, so the next segment is called Yo Buddha, What Up Though? And since we already did this a few times today, it's not an unread email coming off of Pariyati, Daily Words of the Buddha. Yo, Buddha, what up, though? Those to whom the Dhamma is clear are not led into other doctrines. Perfectly enlightened with perfect knowledge, they walk evenly over the uneven. First of all, I like the idea of walking evenly under the uneven. That means that you're balanced. That means that you're not tripping and falling just because the ground is unstable. That don't mean you unstable, because you know how to balance yourself and manage yourself. I like that. But then the other thing is, to me, Dhamma is like truth, righteousness, justice. So if you clear about truth, righteousness, and justice, if you clear about the Dhamma, then you don't need to be worried about other stuff. You don't really need to be running here for this, running there for that. Oh, this is the trend today. Oh, this is the trend tomorrow. You can just stay focused on truth and God and good and light and justice. You just stable. You stable. Are you stable? Are you in unity with yourself? All right, let's jump into the news feed. Again! I don't know if it's going to be stale because some of this I already said. It's not like my first time reading it and responding and thinking about it. Boston's first Black police commissioner sworn in. So I think that this is not anything that because I'm kind of like, when you get sworn into a system, buffering. Oh, okay. Am I buffering for everybody? Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. Like, not buffering. Oh, okay. Well, refresh your browser, Ayapo. Hey, I see. Peace, everyone. One, peace. One, Umoja, unity, Habaragani. All right, that's what the people tell me. When it's only one person who's buffering, then it's probably you and not me. You just did it. Is it still buffering? Okay, so Boston's first Black police commissioner sworn in. I'm like, you sworn into a system that's about the oppression and demoralization of Black people? How do I celebrate that? So I just decided to send up a prayer that, because I know a lot of times people feel like they want to work inside of the system. And also, it's not like I know what the answer is. No, not buffering anymore. Yay. It's not like I know what the answer is. So maybe that is the answer and I just can't see it. But maybe he has a vision that I can't see. So maybe from the inside of the police station, he about to change stuff. He about to, reorient some stuff. So prayers out to him that he may operate with dignity and injustice and on behalf of our people. How about that? So I wish him. I wish him. That's what I wish him. So if that can happen, I'm here for it 100%. 100%. 100%. Thai cave rescue coach and boys given citizenship. So apparently there are 480,000 people who come on Angela. Hey, Lindell Moore. Lindell. Um so apparently there are 480,000 people who are without citizenship in this region of the world, like in Thai, Bhutan. I think it's the system is far too corrupt for anyone to fix it from the inside. It would be bufferitos. It would be like you trying to stop a forest fire by peeing on it. Well, I got some powerful pee. My pee might stop a forest fire. Um, yeah, I think so too. Thank you for the likes. So I'm buffering again. So I guess I'm just gonna say press one if you can hear. If I get a one or two, I'm gonna keep going. Um, press one if you can hear me. A lot of times I just chit chat during this time. Press one if you can hear me. Press one if I'm not buffering. Only you can prevent forest fires, Angela. I refreshed 1-1. Okay. So three of the young boys who were in the Thai cave were not citizens, and the leader was not a citizen. And they're saying that a lot of people in that region aren't citizens. Most of the people aren't citizens because they belong to like tribes and groups and things that are like outside. And it kind of made me think of, like in this country there are people who say I'm more. Black people who say I'm a more. I'm not. I don't have a driver's license. She didn't get that, Ayafo. I refreshed. Only you can prevent forest fires. I got that. That's like Smokey the Bear. Did I miss something else? Um, so they're Moors. They like have their own society, their own community, their own mores. They're not part of the society. They're not part of that government. They're part of their own society. They're in their own government, and they're just on the outskirts. They live in the mountains or wherever they live. They're not part of this paying taxes or whatever they do in Thailand. They're not part of the system. So they really have more. Some people would say that. But anyway, they gave citizenship to the boys and the in Thailand. They gave citizenship to three of the boys and the one, and said qualifications. They weren't giving them citizenships because they were in the cave. They were just giving them citizenship because they met the requirements. Spanish fighter jet accidentally fires missile over Estonia. So Estonia, I believe, is near Eastern Europe, near Russia. They say it was a mistake. They say, oops, I did not mean to do it. No one was harmed, but Estonia says we're going to be on the lookout for the next time that it happens. And it was like 2 Spanish fighter planes and 2 French fighter planes, and it was like an exercise or something. How you accidentally dropping bombs on people? That seems like a way to get some skits started, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. I mean, I know people make mistakes, but that seemed like a big mistake to me. Men rescued from Toronto lift as in elevator. And I was like, is there flooding in Toronto? And yes, there is flooding in Toronto. They had 1 foot of air. They were standing on the guardrail, and I don't know if they used their cell phone to call for help, like, help, we're trapped in this elevator. And the people came and they rescued them and they took them to the hospital. They didn't have life-threatening injuries, except that they just had 1 foot of air left to breathe. And I guess the water was going up and up and up. So the people came with the crowbar and rescued them in Toronto. Migrant farmers strike in Italy after 16 road deaths. Now, I didn't realize until I clicked in the article that, and they were saying, we are not slaves. They're black folks. They're black folks who come over to Italy in order to pick blueberries. I think they were picking blueberries. And people are getting killed. They're getting killed on the roads going from one farm to the next farm. They're taking away basta. That means enough. We are not slaves. Farm workers down tools and march to the city of Fogaccia in southern Italy. The strike comes after 16 migrants died in 2 separate incidents in 48 hours. That's a lot of people. So again, prayers out to those people who made their transition, to their people, to their families who were probably relying on them, and just to all of us who are caught up in this system where we're in a position of being like desperados when we have like when our land and we are the resources. Like, it's twisted and it's upside down. So prayers out to all of us. In both cases, lorries carrying tomatoes collided with vans carrying the laborers home after a day's work. And so it also makes you think about, just like with our cell phones, we know that a lot of Black folks, migrants, are used in sex trafficking. And like also with our cell phones, yeah, we know that a lot of unethical things happen in order to get the minerals that are in cell phones and tablets and stuff like that. And so when we think about tomatoes, we eat a lot of tomatoes. What types of conditions are people under who are harvesting those tomatoes? What types of conditions are people under who are harvesting the food that we eat? What types of conditions are people under who are making the clothes that we wear that we can buy so cheaply? And how can we increasingly opt out of a system that's about exploitation, whether it's sexual exploitation or whatever type of exploitation, and or I should say, and or whatever type of exploitation. A red hat march was announced by farm workers on Saturday, echoing the hats worn by tomato pickers in the fields around Fugashi. The laborers say the recruiters, the people who recruit them to work, may be linked to organized crime. Grow your own. And they drive them farm to farm in overcrowded vans and fail to give them work contracts. Ibrahim, sew your own clothes. Create. Can we weave our own, grow our own? What do we grow to weave fabrics? Cotton and flax. The new slave force. Ibrahim Sissoko told Reuters they are treated like slaves in the unregulated industry. There is no other work for us here, and they know it, so they take advantage. Exploitation. Unions have previously argued for public transport system around Fergatia during the busy summer period to help migrants, and their members joined the migrants march on Wednesday. Hey, Nikki. Um, so this was the image of the laborers, some of the people in the march. And then this is, you can see the white people from the union along with some of the Black people who joined in. More than 650,000 migrants, mostly from sub-Saharan African. Can we do our own nails? Yeah, we can do our own nails. Throw some shea butter on them. Mostly from sub-Saharan Africa, have come ashore in Italy since 2014, stretching resources in regions already struggling with high unemployment. Hey, the underrated darkness. How are you? Welcome on the chat. Killers busted for hundreds of thousands of fake Nike Air Jordans. I buy non-toxic nail polish and do my own nails. Yeah, they have this thing where it's like 6, 8 numbers, I guess, of toxicity. I'm looking at my nails now. I need to get some, it's something I keep meaning to get. Mine stay splitting, so I stay cutting them. What are those? Hopefully they are the real Nike Air Jordans. I was kind of like, has Jordan ever done anything for Black folks? But then he stood up for somebody. But they say that the other day, like, he was in Chicago, I think I was seeing something, crime and young people who were having issues in Chicago, and somebody wanted him to like participate in something to say, I'm here for the young Black folks of Chicago who, go out of their way to spend all of this money, Chicago went through, spend all this money to make me rich, so let me do something for them. And he was like, oh, I don't want to be associated with that. And I'm like, associated with what? Your people and young people, the people who spent money, like, oh, I'm spending 100, 200, how much you pay for Air Jordans? I don't know. I'm spending my money on these Air Jordans and they're fake. But if you copped a pair of the coveted sneakers somewhere in Brooklyn and Queens, New York, they just might be counterfeit. New York had a huge bust and snagged $73 million worth of counterfeit Air Jordans in a massive counterfeit sneaker traffic ring. At least 5 people have been arrested and charged in New York City with trafficking the fake footwear. The sneakers arrived in the port of Newark from China. You know Smokey the Bear, but not Space Jam? Right. Well, when I was a child, Smokey the Bear would come on TV. When did Space Jam come on? I mean, why would I know about Space Jam? What is Space Jam? Was I there? Did they pay me to do something? What um they were transported to locations. I believe I could fly. I thought that was the guy who liked to pee on young girls and molest young girls. He the one who believed he can fly, right? Um, what's his name? Step in the Name of Love. Step in the Name of Molesting Children. What's his name? R. Kelly. Right. Hi, underrated. Okay, so while I'm waiting, Habaragani, I don't know my phone. We need to all say a prayer for my phone. That was the theme song to Space Jam. Oh, really? I believe I can fly. What is Space Jam? Oh, my phone. Lord. Oh my God, it shut completely off. Okay. So what's new and good? What's happening? What's going on? What you up to today? I gotta wait for my phone to reload. The guy who pees on young girls is good enough. Right. Not only does he pee on them, a movie with Mike. Oh, it was a movie. Oh, no, I didn't see that movie. With Bugs Bunny. Yeah, no, I didn't see that movie. So has anybody seen any good movies? How is the royal family? Wonderful. How are you? I saw Sorry to Bother You. Has anyone seen that? Has anybody seen and the Looney Tunes theme and Michael Jordan? Has anybody seen the movie with Denzel Washington? Anybody seen any good movies lately? Anything that we should definitely watch? I thought Sorry to Bother Me was interesting and I would probably recommend it. One, because the person who was associated, his name was Riley. I want to see Black Klansman. That comes out, I think it comes out this week. I was on a list to see it, but I didn't make it. I went in too late to try to get my tickets and it was too late. But the National Association of Black Journalists was here in Detroit, so they did a joint screening with NABJ and the Detroit Institute of the Arts, the DIA, and the Charles H. Wright Museum. So somebody got me on the list, but by the time Mercury is still in retrograde, my royal family. When Mercury is in retrograde, the way that I was trained, very classy and very royal. The way that I was trained is it's not a good time to sign any contracts. It's a great time for research. It's not a good time to buy a whole bunch of stuff, and just be really conscientious as you're moving around, and be conscientious in your communication. When you talk to people, really pay attention to what you say and really pay attention to what they say. And be careful, because there's going to be some mess and some confusion probably. So just be careful and be gentle and kind to one another. That's what I was taught about Mercury retrograde. And when you're driving, be extra cautious. If somebody is like, don't like zoom out, like I can make it before the cars come, just chill. Because Mercury has to do with communication and transportation. So when it's in retrograde, things get a little, do all the redos. Yeah, do the research. It's a great time for research. So, yeah, if Mercury is still retrograde, do some research. Learn some things. Okay, my phone is back on. And it's 3:33. My favorite number is 3. So it's 3:33. So that's 3 threes. I mean, that's like, what could be better than 3:33? Is there a better time in the world? Mm-mm. 3:33. That's right. Yeah. And see, once my phone cuts off, this is a BlackBerry. It takes about 5 minutes for it to reload. I love it. You love 333. Does anybody else have a favorite number? True Royal Family, is yours 17? That's my youngest son's number. 333. Yeah, see, preparing the BlackBerry Hub. Now this is gonna take about 5 minutes. 17. Is that your favorite number? Time for a new phone. I know. And I was just looking last night. The phone that I want, the BlackBerry Key 2, it's $650. And I used to have a guy when I was in Hattiesburg. I had a guy, and so he knew that I was a BlackBerry girl. So, and he was the manager of the store. He would always make sure that when the new BlackBerry came out, that he ordered at least one to the store for me. And so that meant that I could get the phones on their little payment plan. God told me 17 is my number. Is it buffering now? Press 1 if it's not buffering. Press 1. I did not know they still made Blackberries. Yeah, they had the Key 1. See, I like a Blackberry with a keyboard. So they have the totally, like this one is a touch screen, but I like the, no Bufferoid, but I like the one with a physical keyboard. So the Key 1 has a keyboard, and the Key 2 just came out like last month, and it's $650. So since I don't have a guy anymore who can order, my favorite number is 0938. Yapo. Since I don't have a guy who can order the phone and then I can do it on payment plan, I have to save up $650. And I'm already trying to save up money to go to Costa Rica. So I'm trying to hold out as long as I can. But I know it's just a matter of time. I've been knowing this phone was on its last legs. About a year ago, I couldn't get it to charge. Hey, Bonafide, thank you for the flower. And then all of me to blow in it. Ugh. So, yeah. Habarigani. When I say Habarigani, you say, does anybody remember what the principle was for the day? I'll give you a hint. Do you want a hint? Do you need a hint? Or are you typing right now as I speak? Habarigani. The black guy in the movie starts out as bitter and antagonistic upon first meeting her. They always do this in movies with black relationships. Umoja! Woo! Unity. One. Umoja. And they were talking in the essay about how principles are practiced. Like, we can't just talk about unity. How are we practicing unity? Do the people Umoja? Do the people in your life know? Do they feel that you are practicing unity? Do the people in your family feel that you're practicing unity? Are we experiencing unity? Don't nobody stud Ayapo. Ain't nobody studying you, Ayapo. Okay. So now we got to get back in. We can't do nothing with no emojis. Ayapo. All right. Peace. Bonafide 1970. Certified. Prime. 1970. Studying me. You better study me. What the heck is that big bro Ayapo? I need $1,000 from each of all 9 on this channel. Peace and blessings. Shoot, I do too. Oh, what if everybody who was on the channel, like if my super chat was on, I could be like, just give me $100, everybody, so I could get a new phone and go to Costa Rica. One of the women who I used to work with in the store, she kind of always amazed me because people would always come in and they would like ask, for money. Ayapo emoji, Ruben, student, Yarnell, Yapa. And they would always ask for money. And I would feel kind of a way like, oh, that's so sad. Like people are asking for money. They need money. And she would be like, I don't have any money. I have 4 children. I need money. Can you make a donation? Because my children need clothes. My children need foods. My children, I don't see why not, Be Fabulous. My children need this. My children need that. And she would and she was not hesitant. She didn't feel bad. She was like, shoot, how I look giving you money? And I was like, dang, that's kind of deep. Because I kind of believe in circulating. I would ask you for 20 on that. I started to ask you for 20 on that video, but I was like, nah, she already, yeah. But yeah, and then somebody else was like, dang, there was something else having to do with asking people for money, and now I can't really remember what it was. Yeah. But I believe in circulating money. I feel like I usually, I believe in circulation. So, yeah. Who is Piss King Quest? Peace and blessings, Queen. All of the royals, you were on point with that share, Queen. I'm not pissed. An African woman in Atlanta brought her daughter's white teacher, a brand new car, and it's making national news. Um, oh shoot. Okay. Okay, I think we're back in. We're back in. Baby need a new pair of shoes. That's like what you say when you gamble, right? You when you throw in shoot, what is it called? Shooting the dice? What is it called? Shooting craps. When you shooting craps, you be like, okay, baby need a new pair of shoes. Come on, lucky 7-Eleven. You're not pissed. If you are pissed off, you aren't paying attention. Okay, so we talked about the Air Jordans. Apple says the iPhone doesn't listen to your conversations. Well, I don't know why not. All of the other stuff is listening. Rock and roll, baby, rock and roll. All the other stuff is listening. So why would I believe that the iPhone is not listening? I don't believe that. I don't care what Apple says. In India funeral, deadly stampede among Karunanindi mourners. So 2 people were killed in the stampede. I went to the article earlier, but I don't remember why. I don't think I noticed why they were stampeding. Like, was it just so many people there that something happened and then it became a stampede, or like what happened? I don't like big crowds. I don't want to be stampeded to death. It's interesting how we're talking about helping each other financially. I just wired some money to a friend in Maryland about an hour ago. I'm pissed with the games our people play when it comes to money. Heineken is how the heck can't a phone listen? That would kind of defeat the purpose of being a phone. Peace! The Information Man Show. Heineken, anyone can ask for money, Angela. It's up to each individual to donate if they choose. Good to see you. Good to be seen. I'm your friend, Bonafide. We don't have a lot of money. We have a lot of money. I think we have a lot of money. Yeah, I think we have a lot of money. We're rich. You're rich. You're wealthy. You're blessed. Your life is filled with abundance. You have all of what you need, plus then you have all of what you need, plus then enough to share abundantly. Start your GoFundMe, Angela. New phone in Costa Rica. Don't you have to have like a sad story? Mimi doll, hi. I keep buffering. Oh, I'm sorry, Nikki. I got lines on my forehead from concern. I know it's not fun when it's buffering. Heineken is betting on a brew. Love. Heineken is betting on a brew made with marijuana instead of alcohol. Now, the thing about these brews is that they're not made with alcohol. The beer is not made with alcohol. It's made with grains that are fermented and become alcohol. So that's one thing that I don't understand about this headline. Heineken is betting on a new brew made with marijuana instead of alcohol, and it could give a boost to the struggling beer industry. So I think it's good. I think it's progressive. I'm off to the bar. I think it's progressive to, you keep moving and growing. I mean, classics are good, but innovation is good too. Because you never know what's going to be the next big thing. Tokyo Medical University apologizes for changing female exam scores. So I think there were like 30 or 40 women who got into the school, and 141 men who got into the school. And the school was doing three things. They were changing the scores of people who paid money. So if you made a donation, they made your scores higher. Off to that multitasking, Ayapo. They made your scores higher, so you could pay for a higher score. If you had taken the test 4 times, like they're like, oh, this person is like, a loser. They keep trying and trying and trying, and it's not catching on. They made their scores lower. And if you were a woman, they made your score lower. So they gave you a tax for being a woman. And we'll be best friends forevermore. So, and because they figure they what they say is that these women, they not gonna do nothing in medical school. They just gonna get into medical school and then go off someplace and be pregnant and be mamas. Can't you be a mama doctor? I know one of my best friends, her mother is a doctor. Go to Florida with your fairy tale porridge, bona fide. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. The ice cream truck was jamming. So the university apologized, and they said they're not going to do that skit no more. Who scream? I scream. You don't scream? We all scream for ice cream. Not that ice cream. When's the last time I got ice cream off a truck? Hey, it's Mary Jane. Whoop, whoop. Okay. A charity made up an ivory brand, and not everyone is happy. So they had like a brand like Ivory, buy Ivory, classic vintage ivory bracelets, classic vintage ivory necklaces, buy some ivory earrings, Ivory, we love Ivory. And the people are like, what are you promoting Ivory for? And they're like, it's vintage. He was doing a gangster lean in an ice cream truck with that sound system kicking. And they were like, Ivory, this is vintage ivory. This ivory is back from before, when it was still legal to kill the elephants for their ivory. Now, I wonder if when it first started, if an elephant just died, and then they're like, oh, this tusk, we could use this to make jewelry. It's very durable. Or if they were out there killing ivories in the beginning. Well, hi, sister. Sister Mary Jane. We was just talking about marijuana. In beer. No, marijuana in a brew. It wasn't beer because it's another brew. I guess if you don't use grains, if you use marijuana, it probably has to have another name. So they made up this whole thing. They had a whole campaign selling ivory, saying it was vintage, and the people are like, that's ridiculous. You're promoting the killation of elephants. Diamond in the back, digging the scene with the gangster lean. Diamond in, how does that go? I know it in my head. I know that beer sound good. It's not a beer, it's a brew. See you later. Time. Love you all. Oh, goodbye. Peace, my sister. Bye, Quest. COG. Stay away from me, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Okay, so they made up this whole thing, and some people were like upset, like, this is offensive. You're promoting the killation of elephants. I'm not here for it. Sunroof top, digging the scene. Yeah, something. I do know the song. I just can't quite get it to. It's glitching. Perverted ice cream man who don't wash his hands. So, and then they said, well, that was the point. That's why we were doing the campaign, to bring attention. TV antennas in the back, antennas. So I thought when I saw the ad that they were talking about ivory, like your skin will be so white, it'll be like ivory, because it was like somewhere in Indonesia. I cannot see Info Man show, but hello, Info. Hey, Info. It's your birthday. Is it your birthday? No, it's not your birthday. Philippines president. Now this guy is like just a straight thug. He just be doing the most. He is crazy. Asians love whiteness. Right. That's where I thought the article was going, but it wasn't. It was, protect the elephants. Philippines President Duterte lined up 100 allegedly corrupt cops in front of the media and threatened to kill them. Y'all are allegedly you corrupt. I'm going to kill you. He's like a straight thug. Duterte is the one who called Obama when he was the president of the United States, Nigger, and Obama was about to go over there. Wasn't that him? The Brooklyn scene you don't hear about. That'll teach them though. I guess if they are corrupt, or what if they not corrupt? He just decided to line them up. That's like lining up the Negroes on the underground, talking about, I know somebody stole my seal, and if I don't find out who stole it, all of y'all are gonna get beat. The Brooklyn scene you don't hear about. So this was basically a video coming off of BBC. I didn't watch the video, but the little paragraph was saying that people say that with gentrification, he's ruthless and cruel. Yes, he does seem to be ruthless and cruel. He's a thug and a gangster, at least the way it appears. I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying you get that impression. Right. So the Brooklynites were saying, even though people are like, oh, gentrification is pushing out all the black people, these black people are like, hold on a second, these black businesses are still here. Like, I guess they probably want support. They don't want you to think there are no black businesses to support. So if you're in Brooklyn, look for the black businesses to support. That's what they're saying. Exercise may be the best protection against aging that we have, according to new research. So they saying, like I remember when I used to run youth programs, be sure to hit that like button when entering the room, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Yes, that's what we're talking about. A moderator who cares. Exercise may be the best protection that we have. So when I was running this one youth program, they would teach the children to horseback ride, to swim. They didn't have to teach them to walk, because by then they were all teens and either they knew how to walk or not walk. Zumba, dancing. I would assume that dancing is in that category too, but they were trying to teach them lifetime activities, like things that you could do whether you were young or you were old or whatever the condition. Like, you can always walk. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need a bunch of money. So that was the theory behind horseback riding, swimming, and walking, lifetime activities. So, do some exercise. It's good for you. Walk, stretch, dance, horseback ride, swim, Zumba. Okay. There's a province in Turkey that's called Batman. Scratch. Right, scratch. There's a province in Turkey that's called Batman, and they have a petition. Since their name is already Batman, they want to move the borders of the province into the shape of the superhero's logo, and they have 2,300 signatures. They like, we already batshit crazy. Our name is Batman. We might as well go all out with it. Stretch. That's exercise. Scratch. That's not exercise. Saudi Arabia crucified a man. I guess they put him on a cross and killed him. Like, crucifixion is like technically a way of killing people, right? Saudi Arabia crucified a man in Mecca. I thought that Mecca was like a state of mind, or like we're going to Mecca. I didn't know. Is Mecca like the name of a town? Is Mecca the name of a town where a lot of Muslims go? Like, you're required, if you have the means and resources, to go to Mecca at least once in a lifetime? Just dropping in to say hi, family. Hi. Hi, family. Like a torture execution combo. Hit the weights. Yes, hit the weights. Hi, Max Evans. Goodbye, Max Evans. Y'all, a fruit fly just flew into my into my mouth. Love, Max. So Saudi Arabia, they say, crucified a man in Mecca while aggressively calling out Canada over human rights. I'm like, that's what the United States does. They be, I guess all of these people be out here, oh, your human rights, you're abusing people. Your human rights situation is jacked up and foul. The same thing happened to Kevin Spacey. What happened to Kevin Spacey? Fruit flies are vegans. Enjoy the extra protein. Modern cities, backwards culture. So just like the United States is like, oh, you're not up to par on human rights, and then the government is doing all kinds of things to jack up black people. Yes, Mecca is the place in Saudi Arabia where Islam was established. Oh, see, that's what I gather from this. I'm like, oh, Mecca is actually like the name of a place. So Saudi Arabia is out here crucifying people in Mecca. Okay. So prayers out to the person who was crucified, and shame, shame, shame on all of the hypocrites, and help us to be in alignment so that we're talking the talk while we're walking the walk, or so that we're walking the walk while we're talking the talk. And let's not even talk the talk, let's just walk. Just like America is the Mecca of white supremacy. Be Fabulous You channel is the truth. That's right. Tell the people, Mary J. Tell the people. Algerians go online to sell animals for Eid sacrifices. So I might be mispronouncing it, but I guess Eid is the feast at the end of Ramadan. Now I thought Ramadan was already over. Yeah, that's how you spell it. Am I pronouncing it wrong? Here comes the jam. I know, you saw how they had that pause in there. That's like when you're on the dance floor and then you have to, and then pick back up. I thought, first of all, I thought that Ramadan was already over. I didn't realize that it was still going on. But apparently the Algerians are saying that that people, they sell animals. I think that they were, even your car is rocking. I know. And then this thing up here is sitting on this thing. It's not really stable. It's like a curve. And so if I move, it shakes. So at the end, I guess at the end of Ramadan, a lot of people have a feast and they buy these animals, like, a goat, that type of animal, like, and they make a big feast. The damn Caucasian Information Agency ice cream man. Now this a whole different ice cream truck, right? Didn't we just have an ice cream truck go by, and now we got another one coming? So the Algerians are saying, look, I go into town to sell my meat, my animals that are going to become meat, and the people are robbing me. So I'm just going to sell them online because that's safer. So that's what the article is about. First one was white, and that one just passed was yellow. You're very observant. Yeah, that one was definitely yellow, and the music was different. And it's no children. I mean, down the street today, somebody's grandchildren were there. So there were about 3 or 4. But it's like only one child who live on the street. Then this woman here, sometime her grandchild come over. Her grandchildren. So we need 2. Ain't no children over here. I guess they just going through. They like to mix it up on us, Ayapo. So yeah, the Seahawks and the Mariners fans can buy concessions with their fingerprints. So the future is here. Well, not here, but at the Mariners and the Seahawks game, you can buy concessions, like you could buy hot dogs with your fingerprints. Here's why you may feel pain after sex and when it should be a cause for concern. I was kind of like interested in the title because I was like, wow. But then when I read it, it was like, basically, it's not uncommon for women to feel pain after sex. Do men ever feel pain after sex? It's not uncommon for women to feel pain, but it's common for men. Soon we can really buy food with our looks. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that whole thing was interesting, that, women and men's different experience. Damn, I bet they out here all during the blizzards and stuff. Yeah, they like out here, doing the most with the ice cream sales. Your smartphone is a security blanket for your social life. So I don't know if you do this. I would starve, Ayapo. I don't know if you do this, but what they're saying is like, when you're in a social situation and maybe you feel a little uncomfortable, like maybe someone snubbed you, or maybe someone is ignoring you, or maybe no one is talking to you, that people just grab up their phone and then they start looking at it, and it makes them feel better because then they know, hey, all of my contacts in my phone, and they all like me and want to talk to me. And all of the people on Facebook that I'm friends with, they like me and they want to connect with me, and the people on Twitter. So it's like a security blanket. Like, there are people who like me, Now, the survey was done with like less than 200 folks. I think it was like 148 folks. And I think they were like all young people. But I wonder about older people. Like, do you do that when you feel a little uncomfortable? Do you get your phone like, well, let me see what's going on because I don't know what else to do? Security. That's sad though. Right. I sometimes notice that I do that. Like when I'm like sitting around and I don't know, I'm like, well, let me get my phone. But I have everything on my phone. I have essays on my phone. I have word processing on my phone, so I can write on my phone. I can read my news feed. I don't have Twitter or Facebook on my phone anymore, so I don't have any social media. And I don't normally text people like when I'm out and about. So I guess I don't use it like the young people. I have seen adults chase down those ice cream trucks. One of whom was the adult that I see in the mirror. Not anymore, though. Well, we talked about this the last time in ice cream truck use. I used to like those the Supermans. I think they were called Supermans, but I really used to love the strawberry shortcakes. Now I would probably buy a strawberry shortcake now. I haven't had one probably like in a couple summers, but I'd probably buy a strawberry shortcake now. I don't know if I would, but I might. And you know what I really liked when it came out? The Snickers ice cream bar. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to freeze Snickers. And they were really good, but they were a little hard. But the Snickers ice cream bar, it was good. Has anybody ever tried that? I used to love when that came out. Ooh. But I try to stay away from that mess. I shouldn't even be talking about it. Our future will not be defined by the words or actions of one person. Papa John's is planning to spend up to $50 million on new marketing and internal audit and legal costs after the founder said the N-word on a company call. I felt a way about this because I feel like they're spending $50 million, but none of it is probably going to circulate to Black people. Like of that $50 million, the legal costs, how many of their lawyers are going to be Black? How many Black people are going to get money from that? Of their audits, how many of their accountants are Black? They're the devil. They put stuff to make you chase the ice cream truck. Well, I'm out. I made it. I survived it. And then how many Black people are going to be part of the marketing campaigns or the marketing teams? And the marketing teams, do they even know what the hell they're doing? Do they know how to talk to people? They're complicit in the whole system too. So how they going to analyze the system and break the system down? They're going to look at the system and be like, everything is fine. He didn't mean N-word in the bad way. He meant it in the good way. Papa John's is great. Like $50,000 is just a way to recirculate money to white people. How is that making my life better? I don't like it. Ew. Papa John's. Papa John's can go to Florida. Videos show a terrifying Colorado hailstorm that injured 14 people and hospitalized 5. So prayers out to the 19 people who were affected by the hailstorm. I didn't see the video, but I was here one day about a week ago, and my mother saw on the news, and it was like, there's going to be a hailstorm that's going to be coming. We should be tired of dealing with these people. I am very tired. They said it's a hailstorm that's going to come through Michigan. And it was like 4 o'clock then. And they said, or come through our county. They said it would be through the county by 4:45. Now, it did get dark and it did rain, but I didn't see any hail. And then I realized, I don't think I've seen hail more than 3 times in my life. If I've seen it, I think I've seen hail once or twice. So I didn't see the hailstorm come. Now, I wasn't outside, so maybe I missed it. I don't know. I'm already tired of them. Yes, ma'am. Powerful telescope, hail on Earth. Powerful telescope in South Africa shows scientists the clearest view of the galaxy ever. What the hell? I would like to see the galaxy through the telescope in South Africa. That sounds interesting. A Spanish fighter jet accidentally fired a missile near the border with Russia, and they still can't find it. So that's what I was talking about earlier. How they accidentally firing missiles, and now they can't find it? Did they not find it because the Russians got it? Oh, hell no. I would like to see that too. Male cheerleaders to make their debut on the NFL sidelines this season. Now, some high schools have male cheerleaders. I didn't know about male cheerleaders till I got to college or saw it on TV or something. But male cheerleaders in the NFL. They can be like at the base when you do the triangle and you stand up on the people. The men can be the base. They're, I don't know. What do you think about male cheerleaders? The NFL can go to Florida. Papa John's should be history amongst our people, not just because of the racist element, but because their pizza is horrible. I haven't had it in years since before the scandal. Nikki's giving the side eye to the male cheerleaders, and that's some white mess. I liked Papa John's pizza because it seemed fresher to me. They had this one pizza and it was called 10 cheese or something like that. And it was very tasty. Maybe it was called 14 cheese. I don't know. It was a bunch of cheeses. Now, their sauce was a little bit on the sweet side for me. I didn't care about their sauce, but I liked that they would put like a pepper in the box. Now, I bought Papa John's probably once in the in the last year and a half, maybe once. In the last 10 years, maybe 3 times. 4. Yeah, I don't know. Now, I'm not like a big pizza person. Did you hear about the white restaurant owner in New Orleans? Is it some good news, or is the white restaurant, is this the one who said that he would spit in black people's food or jack up black people's food? The male cheerleaders are probably just in it for the free games. Well, we already blacked out the NFL. They trying to use male cheerleaders to get people back. Now, I like men, but I'm not checking for male cheerleaders. Although the male gymnasts are very strong, I like the strength and the agility. Like that seems kind of like not the male cheerleaders, but the gymnasts. So I think of male cheerleaders as like gymnast types, So I don't know. I no longer watch the NFL. But would you watch it for a male cheerleader? Did you used to watch it for the female cheerleaders? New Mexico, police find young boys remains at compound. So this is the compound. Hell no. This is the compound where some children called and said, we're here starving to death. Jack off in our food and enjoy as he watched the primates eat. That is really disgusting. I did see the headline, but I didn't know what the details were. Ew, Sonia. That is really, really disgusting. I make my own pizza, which is far, far better than anything we could get out of the pizzeria. Right. I buy the pizza dough from Papa John's. I used to buy those pre-made pizza crusts, but it was hard to find wheat ones. But anyway, I buy the pizza dough from Papa John's, and I used to only make it to make pizza, but now I use it. I'll just take some, roll it, flatten it out, and fry it in my cast iron. It's really good. It's like a fresh made like bread, like a kind of like a pita bread type thing. I've been making my own for a while. What, pizza? Yeah. So the young boy was found at the compound. I said Trader Joe's naan bread. It tastes like naan bread. Yeah, I thought I said Trader Joe's. What did I say? Am I cussing again today? It tastes like naan bread. I try to make it flat like a pita, flatter, but I usually don't have the patience to just really, really make it flat. And then sometimes I'll bake it. Oh, I said Papa John's. Oh, yeah, I meant Trader Joe's. Oh, no, I didn't mean Papa John's. I meant Trader Joe's. Sometimes I'll like take it and flatten it out and put it on my cast iron and then throw some vegetables on top of it, drizzle some olive oil and some seasoning, throw it in the oven. And then when it comes out, it's like bread and vegetables. I really like bread and vegetables. Best damn food in the world is Creole soul food. Stop eating at their restaurants. They imitating our recipes anyway. You could get Boboli pizza dough in the supermarket. Is Boboli the one I used to get, which is like already pre-made pizza dough? But then I wasn't happy about the ingredients. I think that's the brand I used to get. I was not crazy about the ingredients, and I was not crazy about the fact that someone got me a cast iron skillet, and I use it every day. Cast iron is the truth. That's the best thing you could use. Yeah, I think it was Boboli. For a while, I was like really into, I would get it. It would be wrapped up in a plastic bag, whatever the crust was called. And I was like, woo, I was really into, but I just used the raw dough. It's just as simple, really. And I kind of like that I can use it as pizza. I could stuff it with, sometimes I'll stuff it with like chocolate chips and stuff or fruit, I could stuff it with stuff. I could just fry it. It's flexible. I like that. And really quiet as it's kept, it's really not that complicated to make dough. I'm not a dough making type person, but if I was, and I would like to be, you get your arm exercise in, Ayapo. What, using cast iron? It makes you strong? I love my cast iron. So prayers out to the body of the child who was found at the compound in Mexico. And I don't know what the story is with the children who called. I think the children called and said, we starving in here, and they found 11 children just starving in the compound. And it was like, I think it was like they were like trapped in there, like human waste and stuff. Zambia circus comes to London. Tyler Mitchell shuts down rumors they're very good for popping people upside the head with. Yeah, it's a good weapon. Pumping cast iron. These pans are hefty. Those pans are hefty. Now, my cast iron pan, even though it's a pan, it's not like this kind of skillet. It's like really, really flat. And when I first got it, I was like, it's going to be too flat to do anything. But I don't fry chicken, so I don't really need a whole bunch of sides for what I'm doing. Most of the stuff that I'm doing is good. And I have a cast iron wok. I love my cast iron wok. I love it. Because see, my little skillet thing, whatever it's called, you can't really, if you stir frying, you can't really get a lot of food in there, but in the wok you can. Tyler Mitchell shuts down rumors that Beyonce hired him for the Vogue cover, and It Loves You. Yes, it's pre-made. I sent that soon after you said Papa John's pizza dough, before you restated Trader Joe's. Oh yeah. Tyler Mitchell shuts down rumors that Beyonce hired him for the Vogue cover shoot. Now, I reported on it. I didn't know it was a rumor. I thought that Beyonce had hired him. This is the young man who we say was a young photographer. He has his own book of photography. I was like, well, hopefully he'll get some buys for his book. I guess his name is in the air, so he probably did get some buys for his book that he self-published. But they saying it's rumors that she hired him for the Vogue cover shoot. Rumors? What? Drought declared in the entire state of South Wales, and that's in Australia. Lots of weapons in the kitchen. That's why black folks always screaming at the screen when watching those Lifetime movies. Yeah. 6 more experiments on slaves and blacks you just might not know about. I don't care for that term slave, so we're going to change it to enslaved Africans and blacks that you just might not know about. I figure for every Tuskegee, I called it the Tuskegee experiment. Was it the Tuskegee or Tuskegee Airmen? Was the experiment in Tuskegee as well? For every one experiment that we hear about with people who have syphilis and they go into the doctors and the doctors are saying they treating them and they not treating them, they just watching to see what happened. They just watching the people die and lying to them and being dishonest. For every one of those, I figure it's 3 million that we don't hear about, that we don't know about. Tuskegee experiment. Oh, that's funny. I never thought of it in association with the airmen. We were talking about Coleman Young today and Coleman Young's son, and how Coleman Young just seemed like such a man's man. And his son, I don't know. I'm not impressed with him. I don't get a good vibration from him. But Coleman Young, he would just tell it like it was. That's how it seemed to me. Me neither, until you mentioned it. So this is coming off of Black Thin, so you can read about the 6 more experiments. What's the deal with his son? First of all, his son to me looks like someone who it seems like you get the impression that he's just trading on his daddy's name. That he's just trading on his daddy's name, and that his work ethic may not be up to par. Like his father, by the time his father was running for public office, he had been involved as a labor organizer. I think that he had been caught before the House Un-American Activities Committee and had told whoever was interviewing him, you can't ask me any questions because you're Southern and you're white. You white people are hanging black people from trees. So don't say anything to me, you racist person. I'm not answering any of your questions or whatever. He was out here, talking the talk and walking the walk. But I'm like, what has his son done? Other than be like, I'm Coleman Young's son. Now, maybe he's done stuff and I just haven't heard about it. And then his appearance, the way not just his appearance, but his carriage, he seems like on the sloppier side to me. The way he runs his campaign, it doesn't seem tight. My mother called for a yard sign, and she said that they put her on hold and that she could hear them talking in the background, and they were arguing. This is at his campaign headquarters, and they weren't arguing about the yard sign. And then they said, we're not going to have any yard signs before the campaign. Don't nobody need yard signs after the campaign. What are y'all over there doing? So he ran for something again, but it's like, you got to get out and talk to the people. What are you doing? Like, I don't know. You don't seem like the same quality of man as your daddy. That sounds unprofessional. It sounds like a mess. It sounds sloppy and messy. It doesn't sound, I don't know. I don't know. And then what is he doing? I don't know. Maybe he's doing something I just haven't heard about it. Lombok quake. Rescuers search collapsed mosque for survivors. Hot country mess. Yep. And he looked like a hot country mess to me. It's like something when I met him and the way he looks that I'm kind of like, I don't know. I didn't get a good vibe from him. So Lombok, I think, is in Indonesia. I think it's like a big tourist spot, but like a lot of local people have lived there. And they've had 2 earthquakes within like the last few weeks. It hadn't been that long. So a mosque collapse, he needs to go work on the railroad. So they done had a mosque collapse. They looking for the people. They done had these earthquakes. So prayers out to them. How to fight a wildfire. How you fight a wildfire? By sending prisoners in there to fight all the live long day. I've been working on the railroad. Saudi Arabia develops Rate My Sermon app. So you can go on the app and you can be like, oh, his sermon is too long. His sermon is too boring with wild water. A wildfire with wild water. His or her sermon is too long. The sermon is too boring. The church isn't any good or whatever. So that then you can know now they might be given a bomb. He need to stick with a bandana. He need to stick with a bandana on it. Now, they might be giving a bomb sermon this Sunday, but based on people's reports from last Sunday or whatever the service happens, I don't know if it's always Sunday, but you know, you might not go to that church because you like, I'm trying to get to see the football, or we not watching football. I'm trying to get home to watch a new episode of House of Cards. I don't want to be in church all day. So you might be like, I'm not going to their sermon. So you can rate the sermon. They have an app called Rate the Sermon in Saudi Arabia. Olympics will use facial recognition to bolster security. So we were talking about how you can use your fingerprints to buy hot dogs and popcorn at the Seahawks game, somebody's games. You at the Tokyo Olympics, get home to see the Not News. Right, I'm trying to get home to see the Not News. I don't want to be at the sermon all day. I mean, I want to go to church for a minute. That's what the people say, but not all day. Because see, if you was really, you'd be there all day until the word of the Lord was delivered. You'd stay until God told you to leave, until God told the minister, the whoever to stop. When God tell them to shut up, that's when you leave. Rate My Sermon app. Tokyo Olympics, they're not in 2020. When are they? I think they're maybe 2024. So you'll just scan your face and maybe for the athletes. Hey, Bella, you hear her growling in the background. Movie Pass failed so cinema can live. Remember, I was all excited about Movie Pass. There's Bella. I was all excited about Movie Pass and unlimited movies for like $10 a month. Now they cut back to four movies, 3 or 4 movies for $10 a month. But they're saying that Movie Pass failed so that cinema can live. Did Movie Pass fail? Is cinema gonna live? Cinema is gonna live. Indonesia woman held captive in cave for 15 years. Yo, Bella, what up though? So this woman was being held in a cave against her will, and she was being used as a sex slave. So prayers out to her and to all of the people who are enslaved throughout the world, all of the people who are being held against will, all of the people who are being used for sex. Just pray out. You know, I'm so sorry to hear that. Summer heat kills off Finland's mosquitoes. The mosquitoes is like dying. They like, whoo, it's so hot. It's heat waves going on. Mosquitoes are dying. I thought the mosquitoes like the heat. It's too hot for the mosquitoes in Finland. They dying off. They like, whoo, we dead. I'm dead. We marched for the dignity. What's up with all this craziness in Indonesia? Yeah, it has been a lot going on in Indonesia. Die, mosquitoes, die. I wonder what's going on in many other caves around the world, including America. Yeah, I remember when I after I read not watched but after I read Room, I did a whole bunch of research, and it was like story after story after story of people, just like a man took his 60, he would every day he would go down in the basement and he was digging a cave next to the basement. And when his daughter turned 16 or 17, he took her down there, and she was living down there, and he was having sex with her, and they were having children. She was having children, and he told the mother that she ran away because she was a troubled child, probably because the daddy was molesting her, and he just put her down there in a hole in the basement right underneath the house, and the mother didn't know. And there was like story after story after story like that. And I just figure for every story that we see, there are a bunch of stories that we don't see. And then probably about a year ago, what? No, it's a true story. I was reading, after I read Room, which was a fictionalized story, I was reading all of these news stories of people just holding people captive, breeding. Many Native women go missing daily in this country. Um, and then I was just about a couple years ago, there was like a doctor in Canada who, just like in Room, he had built this out in his backyard. He had this like a shed that he had fortified, and he snatched this woman up off the street and put her in the shed. And she managed to convince him, and he was a medical doctor who you would think would be desirable, but of course kidnapping somebody and turning them into a sex slave has nothing to do with desirability. It's some kind of weird control thing. But she convinced him, oh baby, I need to go back to the house to get more clothes. And so when he took her to the house, she ran away and was like, he kidnapped me, or she told the police or whatever, he kidnapped me, and what the situation is. And then they investigated. They have underground apartments in America and Canada. So yeah. Greece to demolish illegal buildings after wildfire. We marched for the dignity of farm workers. When I was a child, I went on a march for farm work. Remember how far it was, but they had trucks and stuff along the way, and we could like sit down and walk on them. Medical doctors are just as screwed up as everybody else. Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. But I mean, there's like this propaganda of like, oh, a medical doctor, they're so desirable. They're this, they're that. Why would he have to go out and steal somebody? Well, why would anybody go out and steal somebody? Nobody has to. I feel like, to me, any woman can get a man, and I really feel like any man can get a woman. That's how I feel. Now maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like anybody can get somebody. That's just how I feel. We marched for the dignity of farm workers. On August 6th, about 150 people gathered in a parking lot in Linden at 5:30 a.m. to begin a 12. Hey, love like the sun. Especially OBGYNs, major freaks. To march for the dignity on the anniversary of the death of Onesto Silva Abaro. Onesto, his name sounds like honest. So rest in peace to him. He was a guest worker under the H-2A program, working for Sarbanon Farms, run by a Delano, California company owned by the Munger brothers. Ernesto and other farm workers were picking blueberries on 12-hour shifts in 90-degree plus weather, breathing smoke from the fires in British Columbia last year. So again, just thinking about like things like blueberries or things that we get, and that we use, our cell phones, our tablets, and who's been exploited and taken advantage of for us to live a good life. Is it as good? Are the blueberries as sweet? When somebody died in 90-degree weather and they said, I'm feeling bad, and the people are like, if you leave, we're going to cite you. You're not going to get paid because you abandoned the job. And then he ended up dying. And then they're like, oh, it's not our fault because it was a pre-existing condition. He collapsed. He was taken to a clinic and then to the hospital in Seattle where he died. So, yeah, I'm not here for the exploitation of people. German couple jailed for selling son to pedophiles on the dark net. And they said the boy being abused for a couple of years. It looks like at least a couple of years before they sold him. So yeah. Um yeah. So prayers out to that child, and again to all people and children who are being abused. The mama sold the child to pedophiles, and the stepfather too. And the dark web, it's like all kinds of stuff going on the dark web. If you're tired, take a nap, go to sleep. So prayers out again. Sorry to bother you, director says foreign distributors won't support black films, claiming they don't make money abroad. LeBron James' son is following in his father's footsteps and attending a prestigious basketball school. Doctors are high-tech mechanics, only to relocate a dislocated body part. Try healing your own internal problems if you can. China has ruined so much of their environment. So I didn't know there were prestigious basketball schools. Is that like a school that happens to have a good team, or is it like a prestigious school just for basketball? Kansas shooting. Adam Puritino given 3 life sentences for hate crime. This was an old story, and now I can't remember. Oh, this is the guy who killed the Indians or the Iranians in the car, in the bar or something, because he thought that they were Middle Eastern. Or he killed them because he was crazy, not because he thought he's crazy. Or because he shot them. I don't know if he killed them. So he was given 3 life sentences. I guess he must have killed 3 people. They will be on that child like crazy. Hope LeBron keeps him safe. I feel the same way about Sugar. Former employees allege racism, sexism at Boston Water and Sewage Commission. California wildfire will burn for the rest of August, say officials. 8 time-saving hacks that will make being vegan easier. One of the things they say is when you cook one meal, instead of just cooking one meal at a time, cook enough so that you can put some aside for the next meal or the meal after that. That's one of the hacks. A woman claims she was kicked out of a mall after security officers harassed her for wearing shorts. They didn't like her dress code. They say, we have a dress code here of decency and you're indecent. It takes Kylie Jenner just over 2 hours to make as much money as the average American makes in a year. Brazil closes borders to Venezuela migrants. Oh well, learn the dress code. I feel the same way about sugar. I not only avoid it for health reasons, but I understand the conditions where sugarcane are grown are absolutely horrendous. And the history of sugar. I believe in a dress code, but I think you should let people know it should be published. Like, no booty cheeks exposed, no cleavage exposed. All of the dress code has to do with women, by the way. I guess you can't be topless as a man. But usually they be regulating how women dress and how much of our bodies we show. But I feel like it should be, let it be known, right? Let it be known. Don't wait till I get in the mall and then start harassing me, talking about you got to change your clothes. Texas student poses with an alligator in graduation snaps. White people. C-SPAN reporter calls to the FBI. C-SPAN reports caller to the FBI after on-air threat to shoot CNN's Brian Steller and Don Lemon. I found Childish Gambino offensive. The only place where there is no dress code is on the host roll. In my house, there's no dress code. I do what I want to do. Sort of, kind of. Showtime announces October premiere for LeBron James docu-series Shut Up and Dribble. I just really like LeBron James. I don't think he's perfect because nobody's perfect, but I like LBJ. My crush continues. Even the stripper pole has a dress code. What's the dress code? Theo Jansen creates wind-powered strand beasts that can walk. Why stretching is crucial if you want to get stronger and lose. Behind the scenes, Chicago's only Haitian restaurant, Kids and Creole. So in Chicago, go check out Kids and Creole. I never had Haitian food before. What Haitian food tastes like? The tea rooms that brought the Macintosh back to life. I don't know what that is. Oh, Macintosh is a community. I went to high tea once, or to tea, when I was in I never went to England. Was it in France? Maybe in Amsterdam I went to high tea. I had something called clotted cream. It's like butter. It was so delicious. What's the stress code? The stress code or the dress code? Why stretching is, oh, okay, we talked about that. Okay, we talked about that. Sargassum, the seaweed deluge hitting Caribbean shores. But only a female can come. But can a female come over to your house with a pair of their Prince butt cutout jeans and nipple teeth? Huh? What do you think of the dress code will work at your house? Dress code. The stress code too. What's the stress code? Yeah, a female could come over to my house, dress how she want to dress. I guess. I don't know. A woman, a girl. I feel like be free, baby. Be free. An artiste found an inch-long parasitic worm in his eye and created a haunting image in his eye. An inch long, a worm, a parasitic worm. And he took a picture. He created a haunting image. Tallahassee, oldest surviving all-black town of Indian Territory in Oklahoma. Nasty. Very little bona fide, very little. Can a half-naked woman come over to your house? I welcome all the half-naked. No, I don't. Half-naked men don't come over to my house. Standing her ground. Black woman arrested for shooting and killing a estranged husband at her home. Is this a different story from the woman in Florida from about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years ago? It depends on which half is naked. What about like the arms and the legs? Can that is that half? The arms, the legs. Hey, Sister Mary Jane. Alabama. Oh, this is Alabama. An Alabama woman who was allegedly standing her ground. It's acceptable. And killed her estranged husband is by, oh, right, because the other woman in Florida, was it in Florida or in Michigan? The woman who shot into the air, she actually didn't kill her husband. She just shot into the air, a warning shot, and they put that woman in jail. And she said she was just trying to shoot a warning shot. Now this woman, I guess she shot and killed her estranged husband. She's behind bars in a city where the controversial Stand Your Ground 44-year-old Omar marched her in her driveway, so she shot her spouse with a small caliber handgun, killing him. That is so sad to me. I hate to hear about, people who were married or involved. I hate to hear about anybody killing anybody, but it's like love. I hate to hear about love gone bad. It make me sad. I mean, especially when you get to the point of charging people and shooting them and killing them. And was it violence all along? So she was 38. She had an active protective order against Dixon, alleging that he was abusive. But they say the woman failed to seek enforcement of the order during her marriage. Under the order, Dixon claimed that her husband was abusive, punching her in the face multiple times. Right. The warning shots were a whole nother case. I thought this was the same case. I had a lady friend who I visit from time to time. Occasionally, she'd walk around completely nude when I was there. Mind you, we were just friends. Now, I like to walk around nude, but I don't do it I don't do it in front of people unless I'm married to them. I mean, but I'm like, but I don't know. I wouldn't. But I had this friend who would walk around naked. And I remember the first time that I went to a sauna, I went with a friend, and she just took off she was naked. She just took off her towel and sat there. And I was like, oh, And I looked around and everybody was naked. And next time I went, I was naked too. I'm like, I like being naked. I might as well. Say what? Completely nude or with a bathing suit? Mind you, we were just friends, nothing more. Did you feel like that was harassment for her to walk around naked, or were you just like, she just naked? I mean, all it is booty. As a jaybird? Or were you like, oh my gosh, I can't take it. I can't be friends with you any longer? I wouldn't do that, but that's just because of my personality. But I had this friend who used to walk around naked. So she was awarded a order of protection and custody of the two children. I do naked at the water spas. Right now at that gym, it was Angela, it's more than booty. I'm naked all the time under my clothes. I know it's more than booty, but I'm just saying it's booty and booby and for JJ. But I mean, the rest of it, what is it? And still, it's just. I mean, it just is what it is. Got to try a new beach bucket list thing for me. Oh wow. Yeah, now this sauna, it was just all women or all men difference. Cover that mess up. But when the last gym that I was a member of, the sauna was men and women, so I wear a swimsuit. But I actually prefer to just go to like the all women sauna and just be naked. I ain't looking at nobody else. I'm usually sitting there with my eyes closed trying to freakazoids. I guess. I guess if being naked is wrong, I don't want to be right. If going to the sauna naked is wrong, hey Kendra, naked as a jaybird. Is a jaybird blue? Oh, domestic violence is a crime that knows no racial, geographic, or socioeconomic boundary. So tweet. So anyway, that's the situation. Movie Pass slashes plan to 3 movies per month. Oh, I said 3 or 4. 3? How do I feel about 3 for $10? That's like 350 a movie. 369. Yeah, I paid 350 a movie. Least. Okay. Spike Lee nabs unreleased Prince song for new movie Black Klansman. Ooh. TM TSMC says virus that shut down its plants is a WannaCry variant. Now these viruses out here, browbeaten. Brooklyn salon workers physically attack black women after they refuse to pay black women after they refuse to pay for unsatisfactory brow service. Now, when I was getting my brows done, I might go because I saw a brow shop. But see, getting your brows done is kind of like a tricky job because if the people do it wrong, then your brows are jacked up. And I have thick brows that run in my family. They're Thomas brows. When I look at my great uncles, their brows do like this and they stick out and they're gray. And I love that because those are like Thomas brows. And we have unibrows. And I didn't know till I was grown that I was supposed to be ashamed of a unibrow. I'm not really ashamed. But sometimes I like, I play around because I like to play in makeup and stuff. But if the people don't do your eyebrows right, I used to have this one brow woman years ago at Somerset Mall. That's the only reason I would go to Somerset Mall. She was so meticulous in my brows. Oh my God. They just always looked wonderful. I loved her. Nobody else does. I haven't found anybody else who is as conscientious as her and who's as much a perfectionist. She was a Virgo. She was a perfectionist. She was like really into the brows. And they just framed your eyes beautifully. It was beautiful. But anyway, if the people pluck them too thin, then you start losing your brows. And I got a bunch of brows. So then you have to let them grow and it's a mess. So you go to the brow shop and they jack your brows up. And you got them to jack your brows up. But when I was going to get my brows done, I think that woman in Somerset, I paid her like $15, maybe 20. But I'm thinking it was like closer to 15 or maybe 12. But I don't know. But it wasn't more than $20. I know that. And so now we beating people over 10, 15, $20. That's what happened. The people, they refused to pay for unsatisfactory service. And then the people beat them. They physically attack them. over $20 or less. I don't know how much it costs to get your brows done in Brooklyn, but I'm just saying, I can't imagine that it's I mean, even if it's $100, we beating people over $100. Yeah, bad job, no pay. That's that. Right. If I'm not happy, if it's jacked up, and or if I'm not happy, if I think it's jacked up, it's jacked up. Nothing worse than a browbeating. And that was the name of the story. Boston's first black police commissioner sworn in. We talked about that. They better beat the Florida out of those three sisters over $5. A grandmother and her grandchildren. Oh, it was over $5. That's over them being crazy. It's not over $5. Who does that? That's ridiculous. Who runs a business like that? What kind of business are you running when you beat people who don't pay or who aren't happy with their service? You beating people? I mean, I just can't imagine going into the store being concerned that, like, oh my gosh, I might be beaten. Oh, it looks like I've gone back to the beginning of my news stories because these are repeats. Habaragani. Yeah, these are all stories I just talked about already. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on and why. They had a broom and chairs. The mob, right? Emoji. Umoja. Umoja. Those Koreans would have not beat a Jewish old lady even if she simply walked out without paying. They don't have a business anymore. I mean, that's just like, I just don't even understand. Like, where are you at? In like, what? That's just crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That's crazy. How to fight a wildfire? I don't know what's up. Umoja. Yapo yappa. Ayapo. Ayapo. Oh. They know this white society is on their side. But I mean, even if the society is on my side, I'm gonna beat people. I mean, what kind of person am I that I'm beating people? It just seems like strange. Like, it's something's wrong. Chicago appeals for help after dozens shot over the weekend. So I've been hearing conversation that I guess the propaganda is that dogs behave like dogs. That's true. I mean, that's clearly something in your nature. Something is off, something is wrong. Like, what is going on? So Chicago is like code word for black people. So there are some people, I don't know if it's a lot of people or little people, but one person in particular that I was talking to, a lot of people have become too comfortable feeling that they can do our people any kind of way that they want. Yes, I know, just playing dumb. Um, so that this whole Chicago, all this big crime in Chicago, one person is saying that they heard other people saying the grandmother also had acetone thrown on her. That'll learn me. I mean, I feel like when I go into a store, I guess I'm concerned about some things, especially increasingly, but I don't think I've ever been concerned like, wow, what if I go in here and I get beaten? But I guess I should be, you know. Um So, they're saying that this whole Chicago thing, with Chicago being code word for black people, and that all of these black people getting killed in Chicago is actually like race warriors out here killing black folks, and then trying to like distract from, the barbarianism of white folks. That's some people's theory. I've heard from, somebody. I don't know. I don't put anything past them. I feel like there are so many things that are possible that seem really, really crazy, but it's like anything is possible. I don't know. But I know that when, at one point I remember some of the young people in Chicago talking about, where do you think all of these guns in the black community are coming from? Black people don't manufacture guns. Black people don't, I mean, where are we getting all these guns from? All coordinated with Fox News. We have allowed this to go on for hundreds of years. Honey, if you try to beat me, I'm fighting for my life and your death. Right. Yeah. So prayers out to, Chicago, prayers out to people all over the world being killed by race warriors, being killed by, brothers and sisters, people just being killed over bullshit and foolishness and unjustly. Indra Nui, everybody is watching you. I don't know what that's about. As black people, we need to keep our money out of the hands of those horrendous parasitic Asian thugs and into the hands of black entrepreneurs, for sure. Freedom Suit Hudgens versus Wright 1806. Excuse me. I'm gonna keep going because I'm trying to hurry up and finish. MoviePass CEO says he will focus on the occasional moviegoer and has new strategy. I have zero doubt that it's propaganda. They're just trying to create a diversion from the fact that they are the ones going around shooting everything up. This some Escobar type killing, not black gangs. Absolutely. MoviePass CEO says he will focus on the occasional movie. Oh, I had said I was going to try to be a better reader of people's comments. MoviePass CEO says he will focus on the occasional moviegoer and has a new strategy for working with theaters. I'm still kind of rooting for MoviePass. I don't know why. San Francisco's housing market is so out of control, 60% of tech workers say they can't afford homes. Love Like the Sun says, and so I really hope the family comes to the obvious conclusion. The obvious conclusion being grow your own food, make as much of your own stuff as you can, prepare as much of your own food as you can, spend as much of your money as you can. I think I love Like the Sun says, I think you read our comments pretty well. But what I realize is that if you can't see the comment stream, then you might misunderstand what's going on. And also sometimes I listen to people's videos and I'm just listening, I'm not watching. And some people are really good at reading what's going on in such a way that even when I'm listening, I know when they're talking and when someone else is talking. And I kind of like that. That's who I aspire to be. I aspire to grow and develop in that way and be a better live stream hostess. So 60% of tech workers can't afford home. Ayapo said, studying me. I ain't studying you. I ain't studying you. An out of control wildfire in California is now the second largest in the state's history. See photos from the scene in the state's history. So that's like from all times, this is the second largest. WTF, racist pig goes viral with story of contaminating food of black patrons. Restaurant issues statement. Sonia C said, avoid first responders, white establishments. So that's the story, I guess, that Sonia was talking about, where the guy says that he was jacking off in the people's food and then he would get excited to watch them eat it in the black people's food, in our food. That's a pig for sure. That's an animal. Bologna, nasty. That's nasty. Ayapo says nasty, and I agree. That's nasty. Bologna crash. Truck fireball kills 2 and injures dozens. Love Like the Sun says, what? Kendra says, disgusting. I know it is disgusting. It's nasty. So prayers out to the people killed and injured in the fireball. So did the tank explode and then it created a ball of fire? I don't know. NTSB. Sonia C says, and you would never know why you are getting sick. Right. That's like the little girl or the young white student who was messing with who she called Jamaica Barbie, who was messing with the young black woman, messing with her toothbrush, messing with her dishes, putting on, bodily fluids and stuff. That's disgusting. That is nasty. Animals. Jazzy Rowe. Right. I'm thinking of Jazzy Rowe. Right. That's the young woman who was being attacked by that animal. That's disgusting. NTSB, investigating after a small plane plunges from the sky and crashes into the middle of a shopping center parking lot, killing all 5 passengers. I wonder if the plane was computer operated. Like, why did it crash? Was it hacked? Here's how the new Love Like the Sun says, that's why I try so hard to eat at open kitchen restaurants if I go out to eat. I like to see my food being prepared right. Here's how the new Gmail compares to the old version and how to make the switch today. New Gmail? No, we like the old Gmail. We don't like to change. We got to change though, right? Reebok sports bra uses gel to change support as you move. So if you're doing certain types of activities like jogging and you might need new support, Ayapo, I heard the pilot should have been on autopilot because he was flying tired, but he didn't. Oh, okay. So if you're using the sports bra, like if you're jogging, then it gets tight and gives you more support. But if you're stretching, it gets loose so that you can move. It's pretty fancy. But I'm scared of like gels and stuff like that. Federal judge blocks New Orleans from jailing black folks who are unable to pay fines. Bonafide says, I thought of a way that wildfires could be controlled. Just set up a solar-powered heat-activated sprinklers here and there on... It sounds like a good idea. You're always thinking, Bona. You're always thinking. You're a bona fide thinker. Wells Fargo says hundreds lost homes to computing error. So treetops connecting them to local bodies of water. I just love like the sun. I just don't want my bra thinking for me. Just let them swing free. You know that's right. Let the girls free. Give us free. Wells Fargo. So, you know, a lot of people, especially black and brown people, lost their home in the mortgage crisis. Thanks a lot, says Sonia C's Bonafide, for saving rich white folks. Wow, says Kendra to Bonafide. So they're like, Wells Fargo is like, oh, we made an error. And you should, like, even though we said that you owed us money, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we is free at last. Even though Wells Fargo is like, you know, said, well, you owe us money, so we're taking your home. Now they're like, oops, we made a mistake. They didn't owe us money. It was a computer error. Hundreds lost homes to computer error. That's too many. That's too many. So how are they going to compensate those people for their lost homes? How are they going to hold themselves accountable for their business's error? Louis Farrakhan, why no Netflix documentary? Sue them, says Love Like the Sun. Black doll found hanging at Philadelphia Ayapo by saying, oops, my bad. Right. Black doll found hanging at Philadelphia playground was a prank, teens say. It was so funny. Bonafide says it might not put out the fires all the way, but it would help to control them. The solar-powered sprinklers should have battery storage to save the solar energy. Now, the only thing is in California, they import the water from the Midwest, don't they? They don't have a lot of water. Where are they going to get the water? What you maybe could consider creating is something to bring the water to the California so they don't have to deplete the aquifers in other parts of the world so that they can live in a desert, the rich white people. Yapo says from the Pacific Ocean. Right, because you could use ocean water for something like that, even though it's salinated. Isn't ocean water full of salt? You can't drink it, but you could use it for that. Shut up, says Sonia C's Angela and Bonafide. I'm not shutting up. Yapo says it's irradiated. Irradiated? Kendra says, Bonafide, I like your ideas. Sounds interesting. Sonia says, C says, you too, Ayapo, as in shut up. Love Like the Sun says, my uncle, something about California. So the black doll hanging at the park was a prank, the teens say. Lombok scores die as quake again hits Indonesian island. Love like the sun, just gotta go and fall off the map. My uncle says California gun. Sonia C says Ayapo is so irritated. And then somebody said something about defeated. Chicago gun violence, 41 shot, 5 fatally. So again, did I say? I might not have said it. Irradiated. Oh, irradiated. Oh, yeah, help a sister out, Ayapo, with your pronunciation guide. Love like the sun pranks my ass. Bonafide, yes, the Pacific Ocean, even though the salt might. Especially when I say the people's names, I don't have as much time to read. Some people are in the habit of making very long comments. And maybe if the people thought about breaking them up into 2 comments, then it would pop up on my screen again. Sonia C says, let California fall in the ocean. Y'all stop trying to save them. Ayapo says, who? A minor issue, says Bonafide, might end up killing the plant life, but that would be a minor issue. The salt life, Ayapo Yapo. Who, what, why, where, when, how? Love like the sun. Oh, sorry, girl. Short comments. Andre says. Sonia C says, stop saying names then. No, because when you listen, I want you to be able to hear. I don't want you to have to be glued to your screen to watch. I'm trying to improve myself and be better. Can't I be better? Can't I improve? You can't hold me back. Senegal star racially abused in China. Prayers out to the people who died in Chicago. I think we already said that. Australia's Trumbull. Ayapo says, here's a short comment. Jada Pinkett Smith. Bonafide says, I thought we were friends at Sonia C's. Sonia C says, it's not an improvement. You don't want the new Gmail. I sure don't. But I want to improve on my own terms. Love like the sun, not news if racially abused in China. That's just a standard regular thing. Australia's Turnbull. Now we are the land of droughts. When I look at the word, it looks like draughts. Draws. We're the land of droughts. Switzerland crashed. 20 dead in World War II plane crash. So prayers out to the 20 dead in Switzerland. Draws, said Sonia C's. Syrian conflict. Government scientists killed in blast. Mary Jane has a bunch of emojis. Circle, circle, leaf, strong arm. South Sudan government and rebels sign peace deal. Peace, Sister Mary Jane, says Kendra. Lombok earthquake. Moment the quake struck, caught on camera. Greece wildfires. Emergency chiefs replaced. We could all use some money, Mary Jane. This says Sonia C's. This is America. Emmett Till sign vandalized again. What is wrong with them things? Bangladeshi violence. Armed men attack U.S. envoy cars amid protests. Sonia C says money too. U.S. police find 11 starving children in New Mexico compound. Oh, so I wonder if the child found in Mexico, the dead body, or New Mexico? Love like the sun. Signing paper deals don't work. Didn't we learn that with all these Indian treaties? You know that's right. IWE's Beijing studio destroyed. Actor Steven Seagal made special U.S.-Russia envoy. That's not a comment. That's swearing, says Ayapo Yapo, the Bonafide 1970. Lego launched their first sustainable blocks made from sugarcane. We were just talking about sugar and the evil. Sugar is evil. And they hope to roll out most of the products by 2030. But that's better than plastic. Now, you know we got the leaks on these. I guess they're looking for other stuff to do with sugar. They're looking for a new market for sugar. I paid Queen Sugar. I paid $350 to eat at Noma. It's a black couple with their dog. Right, rats from sugarcane. Here comes the rats. Bella turned around and looked at me. I paid $350 to eat at Noma, the 4-time best restaurant in the world where guests feast on mold, potted plants, and a giant kebab made from vegetables. Here's what it was like. I think it's a vegetarian restaurant. I'm paying $350. Ross Faye will be here around 6. The world's biggest passenger plane, the A380, from London to somebody protecting his turf. Bella is a girl. Yeah, she don't like other dogs. Hey, Dark Void. Somebody was telling me, and I've never been on a double-decker plane. Somebody was telling me that they have planes where there are double-deckers. Now, I've been on a plane where there are 3 aisles, like an aisle here, 2 aisles and 3 rows of seats. If you want to eat mold, I'll just grab a plate and go down to the bay. Oh, don't you eat mushrooms? Isn't that mold, or is that fungus? That's fungus. Oh, okay. Mold, yuck. But this plane is even bigger than that plane. Let's see. 2 biatches just passed by Bella's car. Get him, Bella. No, that was a man or woman. The man did have long hair. He had locks. I've never been on a double-decker train. I've only been on a double-decker bus. The man had locks and they had a dog. That's who she was fussing at. It's the world's biggest passenger plane. It has 12 first-class suites. Isn't mold penicillin? 60 business class seats and 399 economy seats. 11 years after it entered service, the world's biggest passenger plane has finally been deployed. Super Jumbo has been chartered. Uh-oh. It has lie flat business class seats. So your seats go all the way down and you can go to sleep on the plane. If you're in first class or business class or whatever. We are so pleased to be able to offer this solution to our customers. Okay. All right, I'm finished with that. Enough of that. My stomach is getting hungry. And I ate before I came on the air, and then I had to try to do this 3 times. One time I was 40 minutes in before I realized I had put the video up private. So I had to start over again. You can be very comfy before your crash, says Sonia Sees. Mary Jane says, please like the video, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Please like the video. Russia helicopter crash kills 18 in Siberia. Your stomach is hungry, but what about the rest of me? Says Ayapo Yapo. No, just my stomach is hungry. It's grumbling, but the rest of me isn't grumbling. Violence as troops deploy in Ethiopia's Somalia region. Bonafide says penicillin comes from mold. It's a natural substance made by the mold to protect it from bacteria. Violence as troops deploy in Ethiopia's Somali region. I don't want violence in Alkebalan. Meet Argentina's handless barber, Gabriel Heredia. So he cut hair, but he don't have no hands. That's deep. A barber with no hands. That's deep. Brooklyn firefighter is being investigated for allegedly screaming, "You black bitch," at an EMT worker. We hungry for more news. To hell with your belly. Stop being selfish, belly. That's what Sonia C says. And Yapo says that's quite a feat, spelled F-E-E-T. So it's probably some kind of clever joke, but I don't get it. What's the joke? See, grandma was right. Use that old moldy bread to make breadcrumbs. It says love like the sun. Breadcrumbs. Breastfeeding mothers in Colombia gather to break taboo. Why is breastfeeding babies a taboo? I don't understand. I still don't understand. Bangladesh students attacked during DACA protests. So they were protesting kids getting killed in the street by cars or something. Subway manager fired over use of racial slur. 'Cause of men, says Love Like the Sun. Cutting hair with no hands. That's quite a feat. Oh, a feat. Oh, I get it. I knew it was Feet, says Ayapo. Feet versus feet. But I didn't get it was like it sounds like feet. I knew you were spelling feet, not feet, but I just didn't get it. Mayor Michael Tubbs unveils controversial plan to solve his city's poverty problem. We already been talking about him having universal, having a system for basic income and other things. So I don't know what's being unveiled. I thought we had already talked about him. He's a young black guy in California who was like, I thought I had to leave home to be successful, and now I realize I need to go back home to be successful. He went to an Ivy League school. I think that's him. Zimbabwe. Go to Colombia, Ayapo, says Sonia Sees, I think. Zimbabwe election. Woman says she was beaten by soldiers in Harare. We can't keep up with Sonia Sees and her jokes. We're going to stick with Florida because we like Florida. Go to Florida. We don't like Florida in that sense, but I like that. Europe heat wave. Spain and Portugal struggle in 40 degrees Celsius temperatures. I wonder what that translates to. Is that like 98 or 100 and what we're used to? I mean, because there's 40 degrees Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit? Anti-Semitic graffiti on Auschwitz survivor Elie Wiesel's house. India may tell companies to store cloud data inside the country, 90 degrees. Musician Kamal talks about African-inspired music and Black identity. Cape Town anger over slave quarter gentrification. Venezuela authorities say drones detonated near President Maduro during a speech, but firefighters at the scene say it was a gas tank explosion. Parking while black. White woman calls cops on black woman over parking spot in San Diego. South Africans march to call out violence against women. My body, not your crime scene. Love Like the Sun says that means 104 degrees. 40 degrees Celsius means 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Massive dust storm rolls through Phoenix, Arizona. NRA criticizes Florida sheriff for not arresting white man who shot and killed unarmed Marquise McLaughlin. Woo, says Ayapo Yapa to Sonia Sees. Also, the NRA criticized a white person on behalf of a black person. I'm suspicious. I don't believe it. I don't know what it means. I don't trust them worth nothing. Here's why John David Washington doesn't want to be known as Denzel's son. Yeah, I heard Denzel's son was in a movie, but now I can't remember what movie it was. Did anybody see it? Is it any good? I don't trust it, says Ayapo Yapo. Chile bans plastic bags for businesses. Like when you go to the store and they give you a plastic bag, Chile like, Denmark veil ban, first woman charged with wearing niqab. I think that's where you can only see the eyes and you're covered up other than that. Manafort trial, day 4. Prosecutors dive into the money trail and key witness admits to helping Manafort commit financial fraud. Democrats warn candidates not to use Chinese devices even if the price is low or free. So if they give away a Hawaii phone, don't take it. That's what they telling them. Training night is Ayapo Yapo says training night. Okay, well, that's the end. That's the end of the news feed. I've gotten to the end of the stories. Yay! Yeah, now because the NRA is going broke, I heard. Hey! Peace and love at Mary Jane, says Dark Void. Love Like the Sun says she heard the NRA was going broke. Right, I saw them stories. I'm like, I don't give a F. I don't care about the daggone NRA. So that's it. That's all we got. And I'm going to a vegetable market. I'm so excited. I have to be careful about what I get because I'm going to be out of town next week. I don't trust the white supremacist NRA, says Dark Void. Hell to the no, that's right. So this is the time when we start to wind down. Funra, Funra. Funra. Go to Florida. Yeah, go to Florida, NRA. So this is the time when we start to wind down. We start to say our goodbyes. Thank you so much for being here. I know you were sleepy, some of you, and you wanted to go to sleep. Be careful with flight crews. But I'm glad that you stayed up and you stayed awake. Your presence is a blessing. It's on purpose that we all here together, whether we live or virtual. You are fabulous. You are wonderful. You are dynamic. You is smart. You is kind. You look beautiful today, Angela. Thank you, Ayapo. It's an illusion. Whenever anybody has financial issues, they try to court Black consumers and squeeze for dollars. Right. That's pretty consistent. Thank you, beautiful Angela, says Kendra. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate you all. And it was a rough start. I told y'all this is my third time today. Third time's a charm, though. No, it not. No, it not. No, it not. So it's this third time. Thank you, Sonia. Sonia C says thank you, and I say thank you right back to all of you. If you came on late, remember when the thing uploads, the video uploads, you can go back and look at the beginning. I'm glad that I pushed through because I'm 2 hours in. If I didn't push through today, when would I push through? These stories ain't gonna read themselves. I gotta read the news. We ain't studying you, Ayapo. I am. I love a compliment. It's very kind of you to say, sir. You are truly beautiful, Angela. You always are, both in your appearance and your energy. Much love to you. Heart, heart, heart. Thank you. Okay, so this is the time when we wind down. We're saying goodbye, sharing the love. What's new and good that you didn't share earlier? Go ahead and share it. Drop it in the comments. What's exciting in your community? What good, wonderful news stories that I missed? What's wonderful with your family? What's exciting personally in your own life that you want to share? We didn't do any claps today, so let's just give ourselves some claps. Some claps for being halfway sane in this country. Some claps for Black love. Some claps for waking up this morning. Love like the sun said something. Some claps for being kind people. Some claps for wanting to be of service to Black people. Some claps for our growth and development. And anything else you want to drop into the comments, anything you're looking forward to. Woo! So long, farewell. It's time to say good night. Good night. That's from The Sound of Music, says love like the sun. Black love. We got yellow claps. We got black, brown claps, black and brown, or brown and yellow. Brown and yellow. Okay. So that's it. You don't have to leave the channel. Go check out some other stuff on channel Be Fabulous You. Claps, claps. Any more claps, says Kendra. Yeah, check out, watch all of my videos. Just play the playlist just for fun. Just pick a playlist and play it. Go back to the old stuff. You know, if you're not one of my day ones, even if you're one of my day ones, go back and watch some of the old videos. I would turn my claps black if I knew how. They're black in our heart. They're black in our heart. So you don't have to leave. Go back old school. Go back old school. Go back to the old videos. Watch Underground. Watch the Underground recaps. That was my very first real video. I did a Chokwe Lumumba. I was at the inauguration of Chokwe Lumumba, and I have a video of that that I was edited. It's my only edited video. Peace and love. Peace and Black love, family, says love like the sun. But other than that, you know, you can go back and watch my early videos, see how I've evolved and developed. Like that's exciting to you. All right. That's it. We got to go. Hey, hey, hey. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Who you gonna be if you ain't you? Who we gonna be if we ain't we? Who you gonna be if you ain't you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace. Be fabulous, fam. Love you all. I love you all. I love you. I love you. But I gotta go. Peace. Peace.